Okay, so root cause, what is the picture here? What is this picture? Somebody describe my illustration before we begin. Why did I pick that?
It's a
Did
square
everybody?
knot, square knot,
Yeah, and why?
because square knot represents a problem.
Yeah, like why?
Well, because it's something that needs to be reconciled. It's holding the client back.
Exactly. And what do you see here with these two things joining together? Why why
There,
why does it not represent a problem? Why does it not represent a problem that's two things together or more?
Well, because they're intertwined, they're connected, right?
Yeah, what are the things you're talking about are connected?
The problems are connected, right? They lead to one leads to another.
Yeah, exactly. You got that, Amanda. So problems all hold hands together. So when we're investigating, when we're in the middle of the interview, when we're conducting the interview, what we're seeking is, where do I come up with the place where this person is caught? And why are they caught there? It's because problems are holding hands together and they can't see how to sort them out. So my job is to keep asking questions so that these problems that hold hands let go of each other. That's how a problem gets undone. So I do a series of these: check, 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 interview, interview, interview. Oh, knot. Okay, solve the knot. Check, check, check. Another knot. Okay, solve the knot. And that's how the whole session goes until enough knots are loosened that the person now has more options. Once they have more options, they will tell you they don't know what the problem looks like anymore. So it's really important when you're investigating and conducting that interview that you avoid questioning symptoms and instead investigate the problems. What I have in the illustrations here are the symptoms people bring. My headache is recurring. That's this dog. I'm an overeater, or I can't eat. I had an ice cream addict once. Now that was her real problem, was that she couldn't stop eating ice cream. She ate ice cream everywhere she went. Every time she traveled, she would get every ice cream shop, listed. I mean, it was like a crazy amount of ice cream. So I have this person here representing her, my ice cream addict, who, by the way, ended up solving the ice cream problem, and all her eating problems and all her trauma and all kinds of things went great with her. Depression, fear of planes, phobias, fears, all of those are symptoms. So if you start questioning those, you will not get anywhere. You will just rotate around these problems and the person will never go anywhere. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to question people's symptoms, even though that's what they bring to us. Oh, I have a problem with smoking. Okay, but smoking is a symptom. So what we're looking for is, why are they smoking? Why have they chosen that? Why have they not relinquished it? As you're studying your clients, do not separate their problems into categories of size or intensity. Now, I put a caveat into that. If you have any inkling that you are out of your depth, if you have any inkling that you cannot handle it, if you have any feeling like this is a mental problem that is, medical, or deals with psychosis or schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, you have to ask those questions. You have to have that written into your intake form. Do you have any of these things? Are you being treated for any of these things? Why? Because you do not want to go into a hypnotic environment with somebody who does not have a really strong sense of their mind. That's why I give away my free interview. Everybody says, oh, but it's an hour you give away. Like, I'm not giving it away. I'm making sure that I can handle it. I'm making sure that this person is really self-selected in the right way. I'm checking to see that they're following my instructions. I'm checking to see that they're able to listen to me. So I'm always checking people's mental state. I'm always asking them explicitly, both on paper and during the interview. If they pass that level, if they are not under psychiatric care, if they do not have antipsychotic medication, if they're communicating well, and all of those things. Beyond that, I'll get to you in 1 second, Amanda. Beyond that, I don't judge their problem. So you might think, well, recurring headaches is a much bigger problem than procrastination. But for all I know, the procrastinator was like, raped as a child, and the other one has, picked it up as a routine when they were in their 20s, and the problems are reversed in intensity. So I don't let people's assessment of their problem intimidate me or put me back thinking that this is more difficult than something else. And I just want to share a little anecdote about that, how I really learned that one. I had an emergency case. You don't get too many emergencies in hypnosis, but once in a while you do, right? So somebody calls me, I believe he called me like on a Friday night. And I mean, I don't answer my phone that much, so it was kind of random that I answered. But some guy is on the phone being like, I found you on Google. My wife just left me. Like, I can't function. I have 4 children. I don't know what the hell to do. I've been to everybody. Like, I'm really at the end of my wits. He was like, you need to see me right away. And he was begging me, right? And so that was maybe a couple of years ago. And I still felt like, well, that's a lot for me to take on. It's a big issue. It's not like I'm afraid of airplanes, like solve it, right? Anyway, so he comes in, I think that Monday or Tuesday morning. I got him in right away. And he sat on my chair. This was live. And the guy just started to weep. Like, he just fell apart, totally fell apart. And some part of me was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to call an ambulance? Am I going to like call his emergency contact? Like, what am I going to do? But I stuck with the process, and his review is on my Google reviews. It's a fake name, so I can share it. It's Pono, but everybody go read it because it's a great testimony of like, if I had let myself get pushed around by the depth of his agony, I would have given up or referred him. But I persisted, and it really helped him. And I got a lot of referrals from him, and his kids got help, and it was a beautiful experience. So don't judge the intensity or depth of problem. Amanda, what was your question?
Right. So I just want to go back to saying that it's important that somebody has like a good grasp of their psychological health, or, they don't have mental issues or extreme mental issues like bipolar or something. How would that play out if you want to treat a child then?
Very same. So I'm going to do a class on kids because it's different a little bit, but I do use the same principles. And I've had really good success with kids, like immediate success, because kids are easy to hypnotize because they're already in a theta brain wave anyway. So you don't really need to take them very far or do much. They come on the screen, they're like, oh, I heard you're magic and you help people. You're like, yep, I am. And they're like, okay, my problem is gone. I mean, they're really powerful. Children are. I wish I had an hour to tell you all the stories of amazing things kids have shown me and done. Here, I will actually take a moment to tell you one because it's so great. So I had a kid who was afraid of heights, and it was really damaging to his life because it was limiting his ability to play sports and to go out in public. And then when he came, he had agoraphobia as well. And he just had like some sensitivity issues all around. So I do the strategy call with him. I mean, I do a 20-minute strategy call with kids. Mostly it's the parents, right? But he was like 8 years old, so he could already understand what was going on, kind of. So we do the call, and he's like, okay, so, all right, that sounds fine. I'll show up for the meeting, whatever. He has one 20, 30-minute call. I do really short ones with kids. I don't know. It was a little conversation. We walked around his room, whatever. Second visit, he gets on the call, and I'm like, so tell me what's going on. And he's like, oh, all the problems are gone. I'm not scared of the dark. I'm not scared of heights. I go out in public. I even got on stage and did my piano recital, and I wasn't scared. And he just announces this. Like, that's it. The whole session is him being like, well, you gave me permission to change, so I did. So his total treatment was 45 minutes long, and his mom still keeps in touch with me today, and it's like, I don't know how you did that, but that was weird.
But would you be hesitant to treat a child with like depression or something then?
Well, that's what I was going to say. So that was just an anecdote of a kid who was, stable. I mean, we do have legal liability, right? So it's not as easy as like, oh, I can treat everything. You have to do intake, you have to do medical history. If you're doing kids, you have to talk to the parent or parents. So to me, kids are a harder sell because it's a lot more time intensive. You have to see them more often. It's shorter visits as well. So, I mean, if I were starting my business, I probably wouldn't start with kids just because it's harder to monetize and it's more complicated. But I mean, long story short is everybody is the same. You have to give a disclaimer that you're not a medical doctor. You have to take a proper history, and you have to have everybody sign a disclaimer stating that they know what your qualifications are. Depression is fine to treat unless it's something that they're being treated for by a doctor. Then the doctor needs to know and tell you if you're welcome to join the team. I never step on the toes of any medical practitioners because it's too much liability. Somebody's being treated by a psychiatrist, the psychiatrist gives me permission in writing. That's all written into my intake, which I'll talk about tomorrow. So bottom line here about root cause is don't judge the clients. Don't judge what they have. If you're not comfortable treating so-called physical things, don't do it until you are. I did not treat anything so-called physical until into my experience, into my experience. I don't think physical or mental have any, they're not different, they're the same, but some people feel intimidated about physical challenges.